Super Bowl Sunday, and you can catch the big game, obviously, on Westwood One Sports, and the studio host of Westwood One Sports, the voice of Immortality,
Wow.
I would say,
Wow.
is sitting beside me right now, the legendary Scott Graham. Scott, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Nick. and it's such a march that starts in August that it's almost like, wow, it's actually really here. And once we get to tomorrow, it's not going to be here anymore.
And no rest for the weary, right? Because you go right into tons of stuff coming up after football season, right? You get any time off?
A little bit. And, college hoops, love doing college hoops for Westwood One. And we'll have the championship week stuff. Got a couple of regular season games and then the NCAA tournament. And then after that, the week at the Masters with the Masters Tonight show, which I did for the first time last year. I was like a small child at Christmas time who got 4 red fire engines. I walked out onto the green grass at Augusta, and I was just like, wow, look at that. I was like a little kid.
Was that the first time you had
First
been
time I'd ever
Augusta?
been there, yep.
Can you kind of you're really good at this, man. Paint the picture for us of what you saw for the people listening on the radio.
Well, I can tell you exactly what I saw because people have been looking at this for years. And they've been looking at these, these beautiful landscapes, and they've been looking at Amen Corner. And when you get there, it's so much more vibrant than anything that you've seen on television because you're standing right in the middle of it. And every time you turn around, there's a beautiful grouping of bushes, or there's, the greens are gorgeous, whatever. But you look to your left, you look to your right, and you're literally, it was like being wearing, the virtual reality glasses.
Amazing.
All the time. It was amazing.
I asked you this question last year, and I feel like I want to ask you every single Super Bowl. We're lucky enough to have you on. So I think the audience needs to know the answer. Your voice is unbelievable. I think I'd push someone in front of a bus for it. Now, I don't know about someone I know, maybe like nameless, faceless person, just a little shove into traffic. When did Scott Graham realize, oh my God, I have this unbelievable set of pipes?
I don't know that it goes back to working in college, doing play-by-play, and somebody from the student newspaper did an interview with a number of the guys. I was still a sophomore at the time, so I wasn't one of the people they interviewed. They were interviewing seniors and the sports director. And they were enumerating some of the things that people did well. And I picked up the Daily Pennsylvanian and I read it, and it said, Scott Graham's got the best voice. Really? Hadn't thought of it. It's a blessing and it's a curse.
Why is it a curse? I think that's so interesting.
Well, it's a blessing because, obviously it's given me the opportunity to do all of these things, especially voice work. And to be able to be associated with the NFL, there's a certain kind of gravitas that you want for these types of moments.
So NFL Films would not hire me and with my voice tank, which is not a negative or a positive, just is what it is. But your voice, absolutely.
Well, I was stunned they hired me, but the negative is the world has taken a turn away from this sound. So there's more of an everyman sound that people are looking for now. It's not as big, deep voice. Things associated with the NFL, sure. But in the world of commercial reads, they want somebody, and they want actors. I'm not an actor. There's been a lot more opportunities presented in voice work for women. I'm not a woman. So some of those opportunities have gone away for me because of what the industry is looking for.
Wow.
Yeah, so the industry is looking for somebody who sounds more regular person. And try as I will sometimes.
Can you try and do like a regular person voice?
This is how I talk.
I know, man, it's unbelievable.
I'm not sure that I would be capable of doing it any different, and it's fine. I have no problem with any of it, but that's the curse part of it. And maybe one day it'll all come back around, but sometimes, there are people who say, hey, we want one of those old-fashioned kind of big voice. All right, whatever.
That's wild. I hadn't even considered that. That's really interesting to think about. All right.
Maybe you should get into some voice work. They want every man. You're every man.
I have to be honest with you. I don't think I am. I think, because as you were talking, I'm thinking, well, I'm not the big, deep voice, and I'm also not the everyman voice. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe like if, like the Muppets need somebody or something, maybe I'd be pretty decent at that. Let's talk about the big game coming up, and you have, because of tons of coverage coming up on Westwood One, Seahawks and the Patriots. a thought on the game, who you might like, who could play a key role, etc.
The funny part about this is I've talked to people during the course of the week this week, and there have been people who have had different opinions, far differing opinions from mine. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I really do. I think the Seahawks are predicated on this defense. I think the Patriots have kept their team in this run right now with their defense, and I think it's going to take both teams and both quarterbacks a little time to kind of stretch their wings in this game. I think the scoring might come late. If you made me make a prediction, I think the Seahawks are the deeper, more complete team, and if they play their game, they should win.
Promote what's coming up later today for the audience, Scott.
Okay, so we have our longest pregame ever now on Westwood One because we've added something new. 12 o'clock Eastern time will be Super Bowl preview. 1 o'clock, and that's with Ross Tucker and me, and Kurt Warner will be joining us. At 1 o'clock, Ryan Harris joins me for Super Bowl Insider. Then we take it outside for the Golix for a tailgate for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Then we'll come back for Super Sunday, followed by the Super Bowl pregame show. We'll be talking with all of the principals, the quarterbacks, the head coaches. Commissioner Goodell will be joining us, Jackson Smith and Jigba. We'll be talking to just about everybody you want to hear over the course of that 6 hours.
All right, let's do our catchphrase here, our pro wrestling stick. Ready? Scott, back to you.
Thanks, Nick.
Scott Graham joining us here on You Better You Bet. More shows Super Bowl Sunday on the other side.